Hey everybody, Nitro here, coming back at you with another review, a little bit different. I'm going to review a beer, just a random beer, tall boy from the liquor store, single. I know it says Indian Pale Ale, not IPA, which would be closer to like Alexander Keith's. Strong beer, 6.6, and shit. I just hope it isn't fucking tastes like grapefruit like the rest of them. Fucking $5 for like singles. I wonder where it's golden color, liberally hopped with citra, cascade and centennial hops for citrusy, oh shit, citrusy, fuck, malt body, light notes of honey. Fuck. Anyway, there's like 30 different ones to choose from, singles. I just grabbed one because I had a cab waiting. So let's try her out. It's called Linus Mills Beer Company. You should probably Purple Game. Probably put where they're from. Probably would help. Produced by Loons Mills Beer Co. Limited, Carlton Road, Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia, Canada. Local. Thanks, you see. All right. I haven't had a drink of anything in like 8 hours. I've been working. Just totally spent. Oh man, it's beer o'clock. And of course, I got my trusty frosted glass. Watch me shake and pour all of myself. I want to see that pour. Yeah, shaky bad. Can't help it. I can smell the goddamn grapefruit. Fuck. Because Alexander Keith's Indian Pale Ale is not like this stuff. It's like it's regular beer, but what I know straight off the bat, she's cloudy. I like the cloudy beer because the less filtered it is, the stronger it is, maltier, and which is a little more fucked up. Has a shorter shelf lifespan though. Bottoms up. Yeah, grapefruit. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. Refreshing nonetheless. Well, like I said, lack of liquids. But I like to do some in the glass, and then I like to do some from the can, because I like stuff from cans. Yeah. Don't recommend it. So many local fucking breweries like popping up everywhere, like microbreweries doing IPAs. They just use the citrus to mask like the high alcohol content. Just questionable. And it's always like, it's not like a 12 pack for a reasonable price. It's like 6 of them or 4 of them for like the price of like fucking a regular case of beer. Because it's, independently crafted. The way I see it, if it's fucking local, it should be cheaper. Like if you live in a province, say, with a lot of cattle like Alberta, the meat should be cheaper. I live on the coast, like the most coastline of any province, and seafood is fucking a fortune here. Uh, like, shouldn't it be cheaper because it's right here? No shipping. No, what they do is they ship it over to factories, clean it, get it, package it, freeze it, and send it to China or elsewhere, and sell it back to us for double the price. When it was caught like not even like 15 minutes from where you live. I don't get that. It's like on a menu at a mom and pop store, it's like for a seafood platter, you're looking at easy $25, and you usually get like one scallop, maybe two. Sometimes a shrimp. Uh, sometimes a few clams. Um, sometimes that be good and bad, and usually a piece of fish, and that's it. And it's like, and then they put like pile on fries or whatever to fill you up. You're a fat fuck sucker. It comes to $28. For like 4, 5 pieces of seafood. Like, goddamn well probably came from the freezer from Thailand. But anyway, I don't get it. When clams are in season, Digby clams, they're pretty good around here. They usually give you like a huge portion, but they're whole clams, so you get the body with it. I can't eat them anymore because I had a bad batch one time. Clams are filter feeders. I'll buy clavel, like things like that, or like clams, mussels, stuff like that, or filter feeders. So anything that goes in the water that's toxic goes through them. And it's retained in them. And as long as, and plus like sand or whatever helps. Anyway, I don't know, I got a batch of like sand. Must have been contaminated, gritty. There was green stuff in it. I sent it back. The waiter, I took it back to the cook, and the cook said they were fine, but he cooked them again, and he took them back, and they were even worse because they were fucking disgustingly rotten, and they green shit all through them. They didn't even comp my meal or give me a percentage off. Cocksuckers. I was so pissed off. I just went out. I was picking my parents up at the airport, so I just went out in the parking lot and smoked like half pack of cigarettes and drank a coffee and tried not, to freak out. Customer's always right. They were gross, so I can't eat them anymore. But I recommend them. That's just my experience. Yeah, but if you can get a restaurant, a lot of restaurants are seasonal around here. Like a lot of them don't even have heating, like literally heating system, because they close up. Because it's tourists. Yeah. But even eating right next to the sea, and they say it's coming from there, the wharf, I still don't believe it. Not every place, but when you get good seafood, and when you get shit. But I have to say, one thing I am an aficionado is fish and chips. It's kind of a staple around here, around the whole province. Fish and chips, yep. It's all like batter and textures, and I find one of the most important things about fish and chips is the homemade tartar sauce. Every place has their own take on it. It's not hard to make tartar sauce. It's mayonnaise, relish, a little bit of lime juice. That's it. Pretty much. Or diced cucumber, if you want to fancy. It's the ratio. But it's the worst when they come out with the little Kraft, like flat packets that you have to peel off, and there's like nothing in there. There's like one dunk of something, and yeah. It's like, fuck. You couldn't go that extra mile. Yeah. Yep. But, yeah. Fish and chips usually are reasonably priced. Places like only like mom and pop places, sell that stuff. Like chain restaurants don't. Well, they do, but they don't really succeed that well. But not always. But yeah. I found out the tartar sauce and the batter, and you also have the service. But yeah. And but since cod has come back, hey, we saved it. We saved cod from extinction. There was what, like a 20-year ban on keeping them or catching them? I'm sure the Indians had something to do with it, but anyway. Now they're back. They're back. Back, yeah, finally. That should show the Aboriginals that conservation enforcement works. Like, they said there were so many, it would never, was it John Catchier or John Cabot, said there were so many, when they landed here, there's so many fish, so many cod, that they would never go hungry. There were so many. They were like beating the bottoms of the boats. Well, when you get the nets out, and you drag them in by the thousands, eventually. Anyway, yeah. And people have this stigma against cod, because usually it's haddock is the norm. Really, you can't tell the difference. I like cod a little bit better. It's a little bit flakier, a little bit moister. I don't know. But really, you can't tell the difference. People say the cod have worms and all this stuff. I think it was a propaganda thing to go along with the ban on them. But I know my mom won't eat them. I know restaurants started serving them, and then they switched back to haddock. I guess people didn't like it. Small town, I guess. Opinion. I didn't care, really. They seemed to all switch back to haddock. No. All fish have worms, just to let you know. So, I will never, ever eat sushi. Ever. It's disgusting, the very thought of it. Like, yeah, I know there's worms in them, and your stomach will kill them, but will they? All of them? And just the texture and the thought of it. Bleh. Bleh. As an experienced fisherman, very experienced, I just don't know how people do it. How do they do it? How do they do it? How do they put that in their mouth? Like, you would have to have like a really reputable restaurant and promise that they're getting their shit from a real place and not thawing it. But they're probably thawing it. Like gas station sushi. You know what you're getting into. But anyway, to each their own. But, yeah. That's what I have to say about that.
But yeah,
Like, I fish mackerel uh, seasonally, and you'd run into schools of like, for like an hour, you'd be pulling in 4 at a time on feathers and a lure and a rod, and just putting in the bottom boat, put it back, haul more up, big schools of bull mackerel. Uh, we started hitting schools of cod, but we're not keeping them. Holy shit, they were big. And it just was just one summer. It started, and we were hitting cod. And in a way, it was kind of cool, and in a way, it was kind of a nuisance because we knew we couldn't keep them. But whew, they make the haddock or mackerel, like little babies. Some of them, yeah.
yeah, they are big.
And you fish them the same way too. Yeah.
Yeah,
But now, yeah, they're legal and pretty cool. We saved something. One thing the Indians or Aboriginals are going on about is about the salmon thing, salmon ban, and I agree. Actually, it's about time. Like salmon licenses are like I don't know, $300 for citizens. Indians are allowed a certain percentage or something or whatever. Whatever I don't know what it is, tax-free bullshit. Basically, well, they made moose extinct in my province, totally extinct. There's no moose. So anyway, they didn't even sell licenses. Anyway, uh, yeah, like, and it's only open like a month a year, salmon season, and it's like fly fishing only. Usually hip waders out in the river. It's usually rich people with fly rods. Fly fishing is an art. It's fucking hard to learn, and it's frustrating. Um, I think there should be an easier way to fly fish, but anyway, like dry flies, you gotta like throw it back and like whip it, snap it like a whip in the air, and that snaps the hair on the fly dry, so that when you put it back, it sits on top of the water. That's fly fishing, and then they go and then the reel system and the way the line is, it's all fucked up. It's all weird. Yeah, but it's fun when you do get one on it because it is like a big fight for a long time because the line, well, the way you're fishing it, you got to play it for a long time. There's also muddler. There's certain flies that are wet flies, like dam busters and muddlers, that like minnows. They go under the water too. They're a lot easier. Use them in a boat trolling. But yeah, they should legalize salmon. It's been long enough. I think. But yeah, like a certain time of year, you just see a bunch of cars parked at like a bridge, and they're all salmon fishing. Because well, there's runs too. Like there's a reason why there's times to fish certain fish at a certain times, tidal waters, and because of their breeding, things like that. If you fish them and kill them all while they're fucking, you're not going to have anything next year, are you? So you got to give them the chance. And the other thing is size limits. You can't keep too big, they say. Big fish keep hard metals like mercury and stuff and chemicals in them and the breeders. too small. Well, it's not legal to keep because they're fry or whatever. You get out the fucking measuring tape and yeah, I don't know. Weird.
But,
I have never caught a salmon because, like I said, they go in runs. I've never caught a salmon. Caught everything else. Everything you think of. I've shot and eaten everything else in the woods too. I've never caught a salmon. I don't like salmon. I hate salmon. At restaurants, if it's in a chowder or meat or dish, I get it removed. Don't ask me why. I love seafood. Hate salmon. Can't do it. Hate it. Mackerel is a fishy fish. It's very oily. They're good. It's good. Like,
but they are
quite oily. And the only really good ones are the bull mackerel, big ones. You got to know where to fish them because certain coves only have little ones, and certain coves have the big ones. But you got to take your life in your own hands if you want to get the big ones. If you're in a 14-foot alone boat with a 2-horsepower motor that is 34 years old, and you're going out past where you can not see land, and the boat's leaking, and you have a bailer, and basically you bail all the time, and that's how you fish bull mackerel. Yeah. You know, the trick is if you can't catch mackerel out and about, oatmeal. Always bring oatmeal with you. It imitates swarms of small fish. You throw it in the water, take the tip of your rod and stir it. It goes down and it kind of like flashes. It works almost probably 75, 80% of the time. And if you're seasick like me, like chumming, I throw up. Usually that attracts them too. Usually. But yeah, the oatmeal trick is quite. And trolling is pretty much the key thing. You know, just going very slow. Usually use one metal lure. Depending on your strength and the state of your fishing rod, if it's a sea rod or not, and your line, how many feathers you have. I rock a lure. Some seasons I do 2 feathers. Some seasons I did 3. One time I did 4. That was too much. My dad always does 4, but yeah, you're hauling all those in at once and unhooking them and then putting it back and just doing that for an hour. So that's where the work begins, eh? Yeah, and seagulls, they'll start coming. You got to start chumming, which is start cleaning the fish, throwing the guts out. It attracts lots of stuff. Oh, and another thing is porpoises. They're like black dolphins. Fucking freaky, man. They're like half the size of a dolphin. They're black. They're like mammals. They surface rare, and they get really close. They get really close. Holy shit! One got like within like 20 yards of the boat one time, and blew its like blowhole. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Then my dad explained what it was, and I'm like, "Oh my god, we're all gonna die." But they're quite friendly. They don't really bother people, but they're rare to see. Yeah. Sculpins. all the spines all over them. I fucking hate them. I usually whack them against the boat and get them off my lure because they're poisonous. Little fuckers. Ugh. Ugly looking dude. You can also catch crab or the crab catch you. They'll grab onto your lure and they won't let go. So you take them in the boat, you try to get off them. I tested it. I had rubber gloves on with like fishing gloves. And I said, oh, it can't hurt me. Yeah, I was wrong about that. Oh my God, it hurt. It put its claw around one of my fingers, even in the glove. And it felt like, oh my God, it was like breaking my bones. And it was a little crab. Threw that motherfucker back out. Jesus. Whew. Oh, and then I caught a halibut once. That's a story. It was bigger than the boat. Fought it for like an hour. Dad figured I was caught on fishing nets, old fishing nets. I said, no, it's something different. Yeah, when it came up to the surface, holy shit. Halibut are big. And also, I'm like, well, let's get in the boat. Dad's like, are you crazy? You can't get that in the boat. It'll break your legs. How are you going to get in the boat? I said, well, I don't know. Whack in the head or something. He said, are you nuts? He said, cut the line. Cut the line. It's going to take the boat down with us, he said. It was huge. But it was, trophy. Fuck, it was big.
14-foot boat.
And it was as big as the boat. Anyway, lost a good lure, feathers.
But
yeah, I hope that halibut still has my lure in its mouth. But anyway, ooh, things you catch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on like 4 different occasions, the motor breaks. It breaks all the time. I don't know why he doesn't buy a new one. It's a 2 horsepower. It has to be like 40 years old. After being 40 years old, it's so old he has to get like parts made custom for it. He won't give it up. Breaks down, then half the time he spends like 5 hours trying to fix it. And like 5 times we were out at sea and the current took us and we were going around the bound of a cove. And like I started taking out the oars and like you started going at it and and bailing at the same time. And Dad's like, yeah, there's no point, Corey. He said, the current's too strong. He said, we're not like, you're just expending energy. I said, well, what's going to happen? Well, he said, we're going to get taken out to sea, off the point, where the current takes us, and probably die. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. And like I said, you can't see land anymore. Yeah.
And then, like, when he
does get it working, it's 2 horsepower. And with the current, it's like, are we making ground here? Are we going to make it to shore, even when it's running? Because it's so slow? Yeah. Now, like, on the other side of the cove, there's more fishermen, much more, tourists and whatnot. It's like, flourishing dock and whatever. But all the mackerel and stuff are small, and like small mackerel are basically like a different species of bull mackerel. Like they don't taste right. you're different, not worth it. Plus, you got like a bunch of people around, and like I said, small. Oh, and plus you got to pay money to launch your boat and dock, and then there's fees and all that horse shit. You know, procedures. Where on the other side, it's kind of a free for all, like a forgotten dock. It's just like a piece of cement. But anyway, but the thing is, it's about 45 minutes to get down there from here. And even if there's the slightest wind down there and the slightest little wind, white caps on the water, like there's been probably half a dozen times we had to turn back because with a 14-foot boat, it's just, you know, you can't do it, you know. So we had to go home, all geared up, we had to go home. Just a little bit of wind, you know, shitty.
That's what.
It's good to have money. A boat, it's a boat. But yeah, every time you get out past a certain point, kind of like something like sinks in your stomach, like oh, you know, we're out here, you know, can't see land that well, but yeah, yeah. I mean, you can fill your boat. I mean, in the day, like we're talking 200 mackerel. You got to clean them all, and then you give them all to like, you know, your relatives or mostly your relatives and friends. Basically, you're taking orders because there's no possible way you can keep them all. The seagulls like them because when you go to shore, you got to clean them all. Holy shit! Sometimes you take one and just throw the whole thing. You see like a little seagull, it'll just gulp the whole thing down whole. And literally, the seagull will like double in size before your eyes. It's amazing. They're relentless. They love it. Yeah.
But yeah, the salmon fishing.
Yeah. I'd like to go salmon fishing. Sounds like they're not all that easy to catch. I think there's a restriction, like you can't use like bait or spinning reels and lures and stuff. You have to use fly. I think it's just fly. And like when you buy a hunting license or a fishing license, it's pretty fucking strict. When you buy it, they give you a booklet. Changes from year to year. Like, yeah, conservation enforcement. You know, tidal waters from this day to this day, and starting this day, and rivers and this river, and junction points. And one year, we went to a regular place, me and Dad, first of the season. We caught, oh my God, we caught like 4 rainbow trout each that were like, good 7 pounds. They were just ungodly big. And we were just ecstatic because it's a good place to fish, but, you know, you don't expect to get that quickly and that fast and that big, that aggressive. Then a buddy in the top of the bridge yells down. He said, that the lock room is closed until May 15th or something." He's like, "They changed it," and we're like, "Well, wait, what?" We were freaking out. We're like, "Oh my God!" But we hooked and booked. We grabbed our fish, got our gear, got off the rocks, ran into the truck, looked at the book on the dashboard, and sure enough, they did change it.
We got our fish.
Luckily, we didn't get caught, but I mean, wow. Yeah.
Kind of stupid.
Some of the laws. Like deer hunting season is like Halloween. It's like a month and a half, 2 months long. Deer hunting season for rifles. It's kind of shitty. But there's like a month for black powder. So if you want to, I don't know, you're obsessed with it, and then there's bow hunting if you're really obsessed with it. There's separate seasons for that. Hard enough getting a deer around here with a rifle, let alone a bow or a single shot black powder rifle.
Yeah. Then you gotta tag it.
Register it. Blech. Cleaning deer, that's fun. Shoulder deep in guts. I don't really mind it. Deer don't smell. Rabbits are one of the worst smelling things when you clean them. That and rotten worms in the sun. Two worst smells in the world. Rabbit guts, rotten worms. That's Nitro's philosophy. Two worst smells in the world. Period. I don't care, like yeast infections or, gangrene, shit, whatever, farts, rotten, whatever. Nothing compares. Nothing compares.
Yeah. Thing with fly fishing,
Like, it's kind of neat. Well, it's not neat. It's kind of annoying in a way because you're using a spinning rod and like they're jumping all around you and all around you lure and everything else, and they're not taking it. And it's frustrating because they're right there, and you're like, "Fuck, why? You change your lure, stuff like that." They still don't take it. So, usually, what you do is you break up the fly rod. Try that. And what you do is, if you catch one, clean it, gut it, open its stomach, and see what's in it, and see what they're eating, because then you can take what flies and insects that they're fancying and imitate them, and take them and put them on your fly rod, and yeah. So they might be eating this type of bug. So we have one that imitates that type of bug, and yeah, that's the solution. Yeah.
if you don't get your
Line or line gangle caught, fucked up. Because you gotta drag it out. But one recommendation: don't fly fish from land. If land is behind you, don't do that. You're eventually gonna have a mess. You're gonna get caught. You can do it, but it's gonna get caught eventually. On a boat, you have that free back, or in hip waders or in the water vertically, but otherwise you're gonna get caught. But god damn it, yeah.
I don't know how many times
I almost died fishing. It was my father. Fun.
cheap. Anyway, bugs around here.
Like May, the black flies. We've gotten so old. Me and Dad almost retired from like fishing. If you get it real early, you can get some luck. but now there's usually still ice on most places. You can't successfully fish it. And then spring and like flies start, black flies start. They don't bite at first because they're not smart enough. They just bug you, and then they learn, and then it's just pandemonium. You know, and like people wear nets. I tried that. That's no fun. It doesn't work. You can't really function. You know, another thing that works. This is nitro's advice. Deep woods off. Okay, get a ball cap and soak that fucking thing. Soak it, soak it, soak it. And if you sweat, it's probably going to run into your eyes. That's okay. And put it on your arms, and especially put it on your hat and your arms, because they'll be around you and they'll bug the shit out of you, but they won't land or bite. So, but off and on, deep woods off have taken out their DEET, the chemical DEET. So, like, sometimes it didn't work, like it was useless. Then they put it back in, and it's a miracle. Yeah, like, and then the heat hits, they die off, mosquitoes start. Mosquitoes aren't so bad because they're not around during the day, because it's too hot. At dusk and at night, that's when they attack. And they attack. And they'll get you. They'll get you right through clothing and everything else. Not much to prevent them. Sleeves. Yeah.
Yeah. They're no fun.
Citronelle candles, fuck off. I've seen these propane-powered machines that cost $3,000. They're supposed to deter them or get rid of them. Bug zappers or whatever. Yeah, you hear them zapping, but there's a million more coming. You know, one of the worst things is horseflies or even moose flies. Once they lock onto you, holy fuck, they won't let you go. And they'll take chunks of you. But the fact that they're so persistent, they're deadly. And they're big. You can't let your guard down. Once they lock onto you, it's like they're with you for like 3-4 hours. Like,
Especially,
yeah, like tidal waters, like beaches. Yeah.
don't run into those. Actually, got
Smallmouth bass infiltrating our lakes, which is considered invasive species here. Invasive, in other words, anglers are like, yay, fun, fun, fun. Because, you know, we never had that. But now we get to use all the crazy lures that they use on TV and shit like that. Because, like, they're easier to catch. Trout are not easy to catch. They're the hardest fish to fish. Easily. The hardest. No question. I mean, you go out all day, you might get one or two. Or even a bite. Use the bag limit's 5 anyway. But, yeah. You gotta use word of mouth between anglers. See what's like running, what they're taking. Yeah, you got to adapt to them. They're very finicky. Yeah, or like bass fishing, like you go catch like 30. in 5 hours. Uh, and you don't have to use live bait. You use lures, plastic shit, grubs, fandangled weird shit. Chain pickerel, they were evasive too. Yeah.
Didn't get.
Out to get any bass fishing yet.
I'd love to.
I love the idea of no bait. Because, like, you're getting bait for trout. Well, you have to get it when it rains. Go out at night with a flashlight and a bucket. Have a good back. And pounce, grab one. And it's an art. Somebody has to teach you how to do it. If your father or a brother or a friend. You can't just yank. You'll break them. And then if you put that broken one in with the live ones, it'll eventually contaminate all of them. So that's a no-no. If it breaks, you just gotta check it. But you just kind of get it, and then it'll fight you, and just stay with it, and then and it's like you got a night crawler. And we're not talking like garden worms. We're talking like big cocksuckers, like sausages. But that's the only way you can catch them. I mean, you can't really go out with a shovel and start digging in a dirt hole. And, you might get like one or two little tiny worms. But, yeah, I can artificially get night crawlers. I just spray the lawn at dusk with water with the hose. Works. Kind of cheating, but whatever you're gonna do, what are you gonna do? They're good for your garden too. So like, my life, I was like told not to like take them from the garden because it's a little bit too easy. But yeah.
Yeah.
But if you get them and you put them in and you keep care of them, you put them in the fridge. They'll keep alive the whole season. Believe it or not. Otherwise, like I said, the worst smell, rotten worms in the sun. It's yeah, something that'll hit you, and you'll know what time in your life it did hit you, because I made the mistake a couple times of forgetting about a can of them, and holy shit. Or you just, if you don't have refrigeration, that was a new thing for us. Just moss, keep them in a cool place. They have a finite life. Just don't get too many. And when they get kind of like not looking so good, you dump them out. They go back into the ground, and you get new ones. But yeah, and like minnows, like live bait like that, that's a fucking bitch. Minnow traps and shit, fuck that. Too old for that shit. Yikes. You throw the trap out with a rope and take it in. You rarely have luck.
Yeah. Usually only do that
For mackerel on docks and from land on bobber, live minnows. Yeah.
I'm sure the evasive.
Species like the bass and especially chain pickerel, which is basically pike. It is pike. They'll definitely like them, I'm sure. More wriggly is better. But trout, they can't be fooled by fake, like plastic grubs or things that imitate, like the rubbery shit and sparkles. Doesn't work. Rarely, you might get lucky with some lures, but mostly it's like spinner and worm. If you're fishing from like a shore, you use like rigs with weights and like a hook and worm and hook and a worm. And you like set it, and then you set it on like a stick, your rod, and then you get the rod, like put the line tight, like taut, and then you sit there and watch it. Sometimes for hours, usually. Watch the tip of the rod until you start tripping out. But then you'll see it go tick, 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 which means you got a bite, and then you're sure, you set the hook, slam that shit up. Yeah. Doesn't work in lakes, but
Yeah, trout. Fuck. But
there's honey holes, good places. You gotta know what you're doing.
like I said, word of mouth.
It's key.
Oh, I've been hanging.
On this beer and I have my hand around the beer. Now it's like warm as piss. Fuck. Uh, Purple Grain. I may have to email them and tell them to go fuck off.
They shouldn't be putting.
India Pale Ale on there. It should be IPA. Like the rest of their fucking stupid crap, hippie fucking beer. Contains water, mashed hops, barley, yeast. Well, I would hope. I would hope. But yeah, every IPA, grapefruit. Good like good beer Molson, or sorry, Moosehead, not Molson. No, Moosehead. Moosehead dry ice, underrated. It's cheap. It's great. Easy drinking beer. You can really slam it. And the regular brand, just Moosehead, my favorite.
They make a lot of products.
Moosehead. Alpine, probably my second favorite. They make that. You should definitely try it if you haven't.
I think they have their.
Hands in Schooner too. But yeah.
They're literally
The only beer company that is still independent. Literally, there. All the other beer brands and companies all sold out and became conglomerates. So back Coors, Molson, this and that, and yeah, like Labatt Blue, and like Bud